Hi, everyone. My name is Lily Swartz Ellis, and I'm the Volunteer Development Coordinator with Bridge. And I'm really honored and excited to be speaking with Gwendolyn today about Bridge's work in 2024 and plans for the years ahead. But before we dive into our conversation, I'll let Gwendolyn introduce herself and then we'll get started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gwendolyn Van Sant. I'm happy to be here with Lily today. My role at Bridge is the CEO and founding director, and I'm happy to talk to you about Bridge.
As 2024 comes to a close, would you talk to us a little bit about what this year has meant for Bridge and what are some of the impacts and accomplishments that really stand out to you?
Yes, 2024 has been a really important year. Bridge is coming to the close of a phase of putting together some new projects, the solidarity projects. We've been working on opening up a program space. It's been over 10 years since we've had a space to call our own. So we have opened up the Solidarity Meeting House in Great Barrington, and we continued our programming as we were renovating our space and building our bridge as we walked it, so to speak. And we have succeeded in 4.5 consecutive years of mutual aid distribution. We reached 200 families. We've harvested at our Solidarity Farm and Garden a ton of food that we've sold back into our mutual aid. We've just finished our holiday distribution with these 200 families. Everyone with children received toys or gift cards for their teens. So it's just been a really great year in that way. And then because we have kind of worked internally for the last few years, working on our direct service and building out our space, we haven't been doing as much external work. So there's been a bit of reemergence this year. So it's been exciting to debut, so to speak, the initiatives that we've been working on for the last 3 years, the equity initiative, which I'll talk about a little later, and the pay equity work, and also some of the projects that we've influenced through our funders.
Thank you so much for that. I'm excited to hear a little bit more details as we continue. So as 2024 comes to a close, would you talk to us a little bit about what this year has meant for Bridge and what are some of the impacts and accomplishments that really stand out?
Yes, it's been a really fantastic year for Bridge, and we've been wrapping up some projects that we've been working on since 2021. We've had the mutual aid program running, and we've had an opportunity to open up the Solidarity Kitchen and Meeting House where we run our mutual aid program. And we've also had the opportunity to expand our Solidarity Farm and Garden project. We started out with 27 raised beds a few years ago. We moved to an acre, and this year we're at 1.75 acres. There, our constituents grow food for our community that we can buy back, or they keep it within their own communities to feed their families or their churches. So we have at Bridge bought 1 ton of food back, but also we've harvested 2 tons of food from a neighboring farm that's offered to grow food for our mutual aid. So that's all been really exciting. And then in some ways, we've been really focused on our direct service and working on serving our constituents in our area. And then another way, I've been busy at working at some initiatives that I started a few years ago and seeing those through, and having this year has been the year that we've been able to sort of launch the impact of those. So one has been the equity fund that's housed over Berkshire-Taconic Community Fund. That one's been 3 years in the making as well. There's now a new fund at the foundation that provides funding for communities of color that serve organizations that serve communities of color in the catchment region of the Community Foundation. So that includes Berkshire, Columbia, Northeast Dutchess, and Litchfield. So I'm really excited about that fund. It has a leadership advisory council that makes all the funding decisions. It's comprised of leaders of color in our region. And we've given out about 150,000 throughout these 4 catchment areas. And we have about 484,000 in the coffers to begin more grant making next April. I'm still serving as an advisor on that fund, and I'm really excited about that. And then
hold on, I'm going to just say that's incredible.
Oh,
that's incredible work. Congratulations to the organization and to you for leading that.
Thank you. And another one I'm really excited about is the Pay Equity Initiative. And both the Equity Initiative of Berkshire-Taconic and the Pay Equity Coalition both came out of Bridge's ILC that we ran in 2021. And so the Pay Equity was started by some of the arts organizations that were in our inclusive leadership cohort, and they've really focused on creating pay equity for arts professionals in our region. That has now it's comprised of Berkshire and Columbia County. It has over 20 organizations in it. It also has raised funding, and we have these amazing reports of our organizations locally increasing pay by 10 to 15% adding paid time off, and really listening to their employees about their work. So I'm really excited about that. That's gotten national attention.
Mhm.
I'm proud of our alumni. And then also, you'll hear a little bit more about the projects at Bridge, but these are all outcomes of our inclusive leadership cohort that we ran in 2021 and 2022. So it's been exciting sort of reemerging with all of our good news.
Yeah, that's incredible as well. And I have seen some of those news stories, so it's great to see kind of the ripples of impact, to use a Bridge phrase there, as
Yeah.
folks learn about it. And I think when folks think about Bridge, they sometimes really think about the individual impacts or the transformations that folks individually have experienced, which personally I can attest to certainly can be life-changing. But it's also really powerful and exciting to think about Bridge's impact on the community level. So thank you for sharing a couple of those examples just from the last year.
Yeah, thank you.
So you mentioned the Solidarity Meeting House. Could you tell us a little bit more about how Bridge has been using the space since moving in and your vision for the long term?
Yes, the Solidarity Meeting House as a project has grown. It originally was funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program to extend the farm activities so we could teach how to preserve vegetables and also have educational classes around agriculture and food. And with that, we were able to braid some other funding, and we've created a wellness room. So there's two wellness rooms inside, and also a meeting house where we're able to house our programs, our Happiness Toolbox program, Women to Women, our Sister to Sister chats, and also host our racial justice meetings and organizing meetings. And from there, from some of that funding that we have that works with individuals that experience victimization in Berkshire County, we are also able to open up stairs in the building, transitional supported housing, actually where we're sitting right now, the Hamsa home. Yes.
It's beautiful. I can attest to that too.
Thank you. And that has been when we have the urgent housing and sheltering funding, we're able to put people in a space that's culturally reflective and responsive. It's actually was the first family shelter in Southern Berkshire, and with coordination with the other housing agencies, now we have other family shelters down here. It's the first culturally specific one in our region, and it's really meant to feel like a hug when people are experiencing houselessness. And also behind me, we have a computer so people can apply for different services and get the support of our staff that are just downstairs. And then after that, we moved our Lee offices in the front of the building so that our program staff could be on our program site as much as possible. And we're currently opening up a new site that will have urgent beds because our current transitional supported housing will become a more permanent transitional supported housing over a 2-year period for our family.
Well, as I said, it feels welcoming. It feels like a hug being in this space, and it's beautiful. Um, I would love to hear you talk a little bit about how owning this physical building, how that ties in with Bridge's mission and goals and work.
Yes, we have this wonderful opportunity, if you haven't heard yet, to purchase this building at 965 Main in Great Barrington. And it's a part of our long-term plan to have a space that we call our own that really represents a healing and transformative healing justice space for communities of color in Southern Berkshire and any of our friends that want to join. So it's really important to have a sense of place and independent space where people don't have to negotiate some of the places where they feel othered. When they come in here, there's an embracement, there's a feeling of belonging, there's services and traditions and rituals and reminders of different cultural practices that are represented in our constituency. So it's just really important to have a sense of place and belonging. From there, we find that people engage in the healing practices, can engage better with other human service opportunities in the community because we're here and there's a community here for people.
Yeah, it feels so fundamental in that sense to be providing that for folks. Well, I know I've sort of already been singing the praises, but what's some of the feedback that you've heard about the building and the space from the Bridge community overall?
Yeah, so I said some of our community members have said this feels like home. It feels like a place where they know that they'll get what they need. We also have hosted the DOJ and the FBI and the Department, I said Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and our local DA and local law enforcement to talk to community members about bias incidents and hate crimes that they experience. And they've been able to have this one-on-one in a space that feels like home. So they're able to feel like they're being held, but also be clear about their needs and what they've experienced and ask questions. So that's been really important. We've also hosted a lot of the arts institutions. They've had artists in residence and they sent them down to work with our constituents. And that's been really nice to have Mass Mocha at Bridge or Jacob's Pillow Curriculum in Motion at Bridge, either at our farm or on site here. So it's been really nice to have the connection with the different sectors that actually support our community. Um, yeah, people just love it.
It is beautiful. Come check it out.
Yay.
So as we head into 2025, I have had lots of conversations with folks, and I'm sure you have too. People are feeling apprehensive and scared, burnt out and exhausted, either in regards to activism and justice work or just in their lives overall. Um, as Bridges founder and CEO, what do you say in this moment about where we are as a country or as a local community? And what's Bridges' plan for the next couple of years? How can folks kind of step into that or rejoin Bridges' efforts? And what is needed in this moment to ensure that Bridges' work is sustained and sustainable for the folks who are leading it?
Thank you. That's a big, big question.
I know it's a lot there.
So yes, I mean, with this election, people in our community feel vulnerable, right? There, we work with people that are already the most vulnerable in our community through their social identities or socioeconomic status. So when the election decision is made, it really impacts our community, and people don't know what to expect. And honestly, as a CEO and founding director, I'm not sure what to expect. So what I've been saying to people, and what I really believe, is that we need to double down in the work that we're doing. We're doing important work. We're creating spaces where we see more engagement, we see more healing, we see more transformation. And really, my message is let's just double down with what we can do locally, because I do know, not just feel and believe, but I know that that impacts regions and statewide work. So that's my first message. The second one is that we can't get too complacent. We have a lot of work to do. I think things will get harder before they get easier. I think that on a human to human level, we need to let our community members know who's in our court, who can be our allies, who has commitment to do the hard things, because I think we'll be making some hard decisions. And then I also I want people to feel a sense of safety and belonging, like we talked about before. And our space here at the Solidarity House can provide some of that, but we also need community that are really committed to align their values and their resources with Bridge. Um, so with that, I'll talk about what Bridge is going to do. So we're going to buy this building, and hopefully very soon. And we need
Yeah.
support. Yes, yes. We need everyone's support. We had community rally right away for a deadline for the seller to show commitment. And so we made that first down payment, and we have that, and we're working with financial institutions to finish off the purchase. But then our goal is really to launch a comprehensive campaign where we are raising the budget that Bridge needs to operate fully. We have the grassroots organization beginning, and we still operate that way. And Bridge has become a mid-sized nonprofit, and so we need the staffing to support that work. So that's the answer to the sustainability piece internally is our staff works hard, they're passionate, they believe in the mission, and we need really the resources to double our team minimally and have the different tiers of management and directorship and staff coordination that we need. So that's all a part of our campaign, the infrastructure with the building, supporting the farm projects and expanding. So folks that have land that can share land and enter into land agreements, that can donate land. Those are things that are really important. We've incubated communities of color that have farmers that are ready to farm. And we need to have the resources in place for them to be able to do that. And I'm trying to think of what else. We have lots of opportunities at Bridge. We have our core programming that always needs support. People could actually help sponsor our farm shares and grocery shares, because we keep the food distribution going year round, and we haven't solved poverty or food security. So it's really important to Bridge that while we are teaching people to fish and going upstream and seeing what the issues are, that we still can make sure people have the resources they need day to day. So any time, talent, treasure, testimony, all of it's really necessary for Bridge in this moment.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the just hearing you reflect on that and thinking about my work with Bridge and the development committee is that idea of like time, treasure, talent, testimony, all of it, that all of that can make a difference. And the meaningful, right? Like invitation to give meaningfully within that on a, human level has always been such a guiding force for me. So I welcome the invitation now again and hope that folks join in the coming days and weeks, and in particular as we enter strong into the new year.
Yes, so can I share some exciting news with you?
I would love that.
So there's a couple things along the line of how to support. So clearly, donations are a huge support, and monthly sustaining donations are really helpful. It helps our staff know what resources we have for people in crisis and also for planning. And then we have two challenge matches for the end of the year. Um, Two different family foundations have offered 20,000 each. So if we match them, one is going towards the campaign that I talked about, and the other is going to our Solidarity Project programming. So if you make a donation, your dollar will be doubled, and we have to make the 20,000 by the end of the year. So this is, if you can think of us during the holiday season, we would really love that. And then also joining our members that we have that have been longtime sustaining members is Evoke. And Evoke is a wealth management group that's run by women locally. They've taken on accepting stock transfers for Bridge and waiving their management fee to show their values alignment and support of Bridge work. So be in touch if you're interested in supporting us in any of these ways.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing those three powerful opportunities right now. And in particular, as we, again, in the days ahead, I'm sure the Bridge will see an influx of support coming through, because those are amazing opportunities to resource and support the organization.
Thank you.
So to round us off, in Bridge fashion, I would like to end on a quote opportunity. So do you have either a quote or a sentiment that you're currently drawing inspiration from or using to kind of guide your work and Bridge's work in our community as we head into the new year?
Absolutely. You know, I love my one word sentiments. Yes. So right now I'm reading Ruha Benjamin because I've curated this Black feminist book club for our second running at Mass Mocha. And Ruha, the book that we're reading as a community right now is Imagination. So please join us. You can find on our website newsletter how to join in. And when I started reading Imagination, I wanted to know Ruha's work better. So I went back and ordered Viral Justice. And really, Viral Justice is just validating through multiple stories the work that we've been doing, the work I've been talking about this afternoon with you. And really, Benjamin encourages us to think about the small steps and the incremental work that we can do so that every day we're chipping away at the oppression and the isms of our society. And I believe that, you know, I love positive psychology. So these small incremental steps really do make change. And I think that Bridge has shown that. And I think the people that have joined us and stuck with us over the years through George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, you know, the pandemic, we see the change in our community. And we see the change on systemic levels as well as cultural ones. So it's been really inspiring and affirming to read Ruha Benjamin's work. I hope you all join us in Imagination because like at the onset of the pandemic, we have to think about what new pathways we can build, what we have to disrupt in order to build those new pathways, what we have to abolish in order to build those new pathways. And so I love the invitation that Benjamin has with the Imagination book. So I'm just immersed in her words, and I can't choose a quote or a sentiment yet, but that's a little bit about what I'm thinking about and who's inspiring me at the moment. And then I do always love bell hooks. And so I want to end with my one word being belonging and a quote from bell hooks about belonging. Here's what she says in Belonging, a Culture of Place. I dreamed about a culture of belonging. I still dream that dream. I contemplate what our lives would be like if we knew how to cultivate awareness, to live mindfully, peacefully. If we learned habits of being that would bring us closer together, that would help us build beloved community. Many times people hear me refer to Bridge as a beloved community, and it truly is. I can't really separate my life from Bridge because this is the community that I want to live in, that I've been honored to help cultivate and curate. And I'm grateful for everybody that joins us in that. So that's my one word, belonging. Yeah, this year it's been really powerful because in building out the Solidarity Meeting House, we had grant funding, but also our donors were able to fill in the gaps. So we had an asset grant, and we had to figure out how to, connect the range and the hood and do other parts of the renovation project. So it was been really powerful that our donors were able to support us. We also had a rainy day fund that we were able to tap into that was created by our donors. And then also we have a volunteer corps that helps us deliver the food like every week. And that's been really powerful for us to be able to call on community to support us. And other ways people give meaningfully, there we have a catalyst circle that's able to support making the larger donations to get this down payment for the building. But also we have what the Obama way we call it, really all the small donations. So personally meaningful donations are important to us. So we have people that give $10 out of their fixed income checks, and we have people that can give 10,000, and each is so important to us. Yes. So on our website, you can always look for the donate button, and that links to our donor database, and you're able to choose which campaign you want to support or which program you want to support, or you can give to the General Capacity Fund. You can also email us at donations@multiculturalbridge.org, and you can ask questions. You can offer up legacy giving opportunities. You can also make sustaining pledges, and we'll send you information and links to continue that pledge. And we also, on our website, we have a text to donate button. And that's really convenient where you can text right from your phone and you can pass that link around to your friends. So there are many, many ways. We also have a QR code that you can find on most of our materials. So there's many ways to access all actually to the same place. So we have a donor database that's pretty dynamic for people to be able to give. And again, we accept land transfers, we accept stock transfers, we accept gently loved clothing for our community. So there's so many ways that you can give.
It was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you, everyone, for listening and following along. And I hope that folks will join in donating and supporting Bridge as 2024 comes to a close.
And I want to thank you, Lily. Lily's been serving as our development coordinator for many, many years. And thank you for having this conversation with me. And thank you all for listening.
Bye, y'all. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.